So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hard button. You would think by now I kind of know how to do this. However, days can be so challenging. And now that I look up and realize that we are halfway through the year, I say, fix it, Jesus, like you said you would.
Yes.
Okay.
Please, Jesus.
Now, today in the hot seat on the tan line, we have my girl, the author of some wonderful children books where representation truly matters. Murlonda Janelle, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm holding on.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I'm super excited to have you tell your story in your words. I know that you've been at this for a while. You have these 3 beautifully written and illustrated books, but tell me a little bit about the inspiration as of how you decided to even pick up a pen and ink the vision.
I have 4 nephews and I hated to read. I know as an author, I probably should not say that.
Out loud, especially.
I should not say that out loud. But I hated reading. And my mom told me, if you can read a book, if you can comprehend, you can go anywhere you want to go in life.
Right.
And I noticed my nephews were not reading. Those iPads were winning.
Okay, now let's talk about it because,
Yes.
you know, they have a lot of research that's stemming, and I did some of this research. Kids walked around here just mad at me for weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, maybe you ought to hold off on the time that you allow them to have these devices
Mhm.
because they're not picking up the books. They're not going outside to play. They're not interacting the way that we did not that long ago.
No,
Not
they are
that
They
long
are
ago.
not.
Right? Like they think they're struggling if the Wi-Fi drops. Meanwhile, we understand the struggle of AOL dollar.
Yes.
Trying to find it in a phone book or a dictionary,
In the phone line.
having to call the phone line to find out the time and the weather.
Right.
You know, so now you're having a hard time because what? So now that we have these real-time books facing real issues, when you decided to ink these books and tell the stories to assist your nephews in wanting to read, I love to ask the authors their intent with the content and context.
Yes. So for me, the books were going to focus on life lessons through sports, things that I wish someone had told me when I was a child. And I wanted them to get them in a book. And in order to get that book in their face and get them to actually want to read the book, had to put a little sports in it as well. So
Okay, and then you also did another little edge for your nephews because
Yeah.
not only do they get to read about sports, not only do they get to read from their favorite author, their aunt,
it better
but
be.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, that goes without saying, right? You
Yes.
have them loosely featured with these beautiful illustrations.
Of course. Of
I
course.
mean,
Yes.
I mean, hold on a second, little slugger. I got to show this one too. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I know that you said you started in 2020. This was the first?
That was the first one.
Okay, I'm Best as Me, written by
Yes.
Murlonda Janelle and illustrated by Morgan Besant. Now, when you start going through the books, you see the pages, you see the font, kid-friendly.
Yes.
You'll see that the verbiage is definitely kid-friendly,
Mhm.
but these illustrations really just make the story pop off the page.
Most definitely. You do read a book by its cover.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
You do. And when you start going through some of the stories themselves, like what was it that put you in a writing space to say, this is where I want to start,
Mhm.
this is where we're going, and this is how I want us to get there?
So with boys, a lot of times, and even with girls, you always see people, they want to be like Mike. I want to be like this person. So I started off with be yourself. Do not copy off of other people.
Okay.
Very important lesson. And that's something as an adult, we should know. You cannot copy off of people. And I just, in my mind, I was like, what else do I need to teach them so that they can be better adults? Because a lot of times people don't look out for boys. They want to talk to girls.
Yeah.
And I felt a strong urge to talk to boys.
Right. And I'm loving the fact that you have it in here to where Eddie, Carter, O'Neill, and Cy, they're 4 cousins who love sports and
Mhm.
spending time together.
Yes.
So many kids can actually relate to that just in itself.
Mhm.
Not only are they cousins, but they're also very good friends. They're so close that they decided they needed a name. So they started calling themselves the angels.
My angel.
Yeah, and look, now that you have your angels, you know that your angels are out here turning up and exploring and learning the most and leaning on each other for their own little understanding
Most definitely.
in this big world.
Yes, most definitely.
And now with the content being the way that it is and everybody having such instant access to our children,
Right.
how important is it that we instill those life lessons to them at an early age?
I've noticed when you instill it early that it gets repetitive. So they'll start remembering it. They'll say it over and over. So even something as simple as be yourself.
Yeah.
They're walking around, nope, I'm not copying off of you. I'm being myself. If I'm different in this way, then I can be myself. And it gets in there and it gets grounded in their learning process. So long as it's grounded, it'll stick longer.
Yeah. Wait a second. I'm loving this. And then it does talk about him getting back to his room. And it looks almost like a little war zone between soccer cones and homework all over the place. Little man over there struggling, trying to figure it out. He's stressed out. But wait a second. Now, Dad stuck his head in Eddie's room. Time for dinner. I'm loving the fact that you're also bringing in the different elements to those cousins known as the angels, forming their own little, I guess you could say their own little squad, if you will.
They have a squad and they are squadded up most definitely now.
Yeah. And his dad is peeping in, not just to tell him, hey, it's time for dinner, because surely he's got to be hungry at this point.
He has to be.
But the story behind the story is Dad really just checking in on his son.
Yes, most definitely. I had to have the representation of parents and make sure that kids know what your parents tell you and how they're influencing you. It actually matters.
Yeah, and his dad comes through the door. What is all of this?
Right.
Like, what's going
What you
on in
doing?
here, son?
What's going on?
And while he was trying to explain to his dad, opening that line of communication while you're writing this and putting yourself in a parent's shoes.
Right.
How was it that you wanted them to be able to relate to the messaging, understand their child, and to even walk along that journey with them?
Understanding that your parents have gone through things, because by me having that aunt perspective,
Uh-huh.
I was able to get a little closer because they think their parents don't understand. Your parents don't get it. So if I slid in that your parents are actually grown adults, but they were kids at one point and they know what they're talking about, it started clicking for them. So it opened that line of communication for deeper conversations with their parents.
Yeah, and I'm flipping through and see they even have some conflict resolution, because at this point, Eddie stopped talking and he looked at his cousin and said, wait a minute.
Right.
Do y'all know how to play soccer? See
Right.
that? You see that?
He's mad.
He's schooling them. They sitting there like, well, no, well, hush.
Right.
And watch the professionals.
Right.
You know, you got a man at work over here. You about to school them something now. And I said, okay, yeah. I can relate to Eddie right quick.
Yes.
O'Neal and Cy, they sitting here trying to figure it out.
Have no idea what's going on. Yeah.
Conflict resolutions, but they worked it out.
Most definitely.
Okay, flipping through the pages. Now I'm just trying to figure out what these angels are getting into, right? So now, as they're going through things and they're growing through instances in life, as our children do, they may not know how to articulate their feelings.
Right.
How important is it that you let these children represented in this book, in these books, just say how they felt in the moment?
A lot of times I'll ask my nephews, what is it that you wish I understood that I'm not understanding from your perspective?
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so how did school go? What happened at school you wish I knew, or you wish the teacher didn't react to so fast? And it's opened that line of communication to where even at this point now, my nephews are asking other kids to talk to me. I'm not the kid guru, but
yes, you are.
at this point,
And
I'm
you got 3
becoming
books to prove it.
Yes.
Yes, you are. What? Kids got questions that need answers, and we need to ask them questions and get
Right.
answers too. You
Go to
know?
my aunt. She know the answer.
And if not, she'll write it and figure it out
And
together.
we'll figure it out together.
I'm loving the titles of these, though. I'm
Yes.
Best as Me.
Oh.
I Discovered My Strength.
Yes.
And I'm loving the fact that you also stuck it out with these illustrations with Morgan Bassant. There's
Yes.
consistency in that.
Yes.
So with I Discovered My Strength, what are some of the things that they walk through in this one?
In I Discovered My Strength, it talks about disappointments happen. We just have to get over them. Because as kids, everything in their life is the end of the world.
You say kids. I just had a meltdown 20 minutes before you got here. Girl, let me read this book. Friday. No, it's okay. Yeah, bet.
On Mondays.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, wait. What's wrong with them? I don't know. I even continue to play against people who are better than you.
Right.
You have no choice but to get better. Man.
Yes.
Okay. If you continue to play against people who are better than you, you'll have no choice but to get better.
Yes.
Trust me. His dad said.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's actually a sentence my brother tells his son all the time.
I love that.
Yes. He was like, we got to go up against the people that's better than us.
Yeah. What you
pushes
trying to
you.
do? You're trying to learn? You trying to grow?
Are you trying to stay stagnant?
That part. And no, we are not.
Mm-mm.
And as you can tell, he begins to grow and
Yes.
challenge himself and others around him. Look at him. His daddy sitting there like, yeah, I told you.
I got
told
you.
Go ahead and listen to me, boy. Listen to me. Trying to learn you something, son.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and his cousins is
Still
the
there.
of the Angels. They're still here.
We're still here,
It's football instead of soccer this time.
but we're getting it.
We are here.
We're getting these lessons.
And you know what? They're talking about their own interest and they're growing and they're
Mhm.
facing different topics on the school ground, in the
Yep.
classroom. How is it that they talk to each other and help keep each other inspired or even out of trouble?
I've noticed one of the nephews, he has this level of empathy. I don't think he understands what it is at this point, but the other three are more, boys, let's just go through it. I don't care. We're not listening, but they're developing this sense of understanding one another.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad that they see how important that is
Absolutely.
in just figuring out life.
I think this is what we all need to add to our collection along with the other two
Yes.
and the forthcoming book because I'm waiting on the next.
Yes.
I Can Do Anything, written by Murlonda Janelle. And illustrated by Morgan Besant, yet again.
Yes.
So while we're talking about I Can Do Anything,
Mm-hmm.
give me the inspiration behind this source of motivation.
That one is on jealousy. How many times are we jealous of people? They can do something better than we can, and we think that, we don't have to do it anymore because somebody else is doing it better. That's not true.
You say these are children books?
These are true.
We're going to get this and
Speaking
read
of me
out loud
too.
at the office. We're going to read these at church. We're going to read these in
Yes.
traffic. We read these just because these are the books we need to read.
We need to read. Yes.
Yeah.
I say boys, but I'm talking to the adults too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most definitely.
And when parents begin to read and have these type of conversations,
Mhm.
I believe that it teaches them in the moment how to relate to their children.
Most definitely.
Because often everybody has this instant gratification,
Mm-hmm.
a hashtag or retweet, life is fixed, or somebody's living their best perfected lie.
Right.
Or life, I mean, the
Right.
filtered
You said it
lie.
right.
Yeah. So no one ever shows you the grit. No one ever shows you the determination. No one ever shows you the falling down and the choosing to get back up.
To choose, yes.
Because you can stay there. That's no problem. It's easy to stay there.
But the getting up,
It's hard to do that.
it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Whole nother skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, though. You know what? I'm also loving the illustration and these little haircuts.
Yes.
Some of them had a little fade. Some of them got, I
Yes.
don't know. He got, look, my friends' kids be coming back and they just be like, yeah, I want the size cut. I want the little.
Right. Look, mohawk action.
You start seeing kids' personalities,
Mm-hmm.
their styles and their
Most
identity. And as they get older, they kind of,
Yes.
go through and try to figure it out. Then you watch them try to maintain their new image
Because
that
they're doing it now.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And they grow so fast.
The glasses are intentional. The different shades are intentional. The haircuts or the lack thereof are intentional.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And while you're writing these books, I know there are a lot of organizations, especially during the summer months, they're looking for things for their kids to be a part of, looking
Yes.
for stocking stuffers early because, Christmas is right around the corner and we
Yes.
have a 3 set. By then you may have the 4th
A
book.
fourth set. Yes.
Hey, listen, I know
Yes.
people who know people and I'm just trying to get you in the know, my
Please.
people.
Yes.
So be sure to log on to WordsinWeb. That's WEBB.com. That's
Yes.
WordsinWeb.com. This is your first field trip to the Madhouse, but I just want you to promise that it will not be your last.
Of course not.
Okay, now promises made, promises kept.
Yes.
My favorite author, the one that's given all of the inspiration, all of the feel good, all of the
Yes.
life lessons in real time.
Yes.
And I appreciate you so much for looking out for our little boys because often, if you don't talk to them, you have a lot of grown
Mhm.
men that wish someone would have nurtured that inner boy when they were younger.
At a young age. Yes.
And so many fathers are looking for ways to open a lot of communication
Mhm.
and to have something that represents their sons and, that's relatable. And you have done that, Murlonda Janelle.
Yes.
You are the real MVP. And don't you
Thank you.
dare let these people tell you different. Do you hear me?
That's right. That's right.
Girl,
Doing it for the aunts out here.
go ahead, Auntie. Go ahead, Auntie. I know you have more work to do, so I'm going to let
Yes.
you chase the sun or let the
Thank
sun
you.
chase you. But either way, get after it.
Yes.
I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Amen.